So, folks, we got DeLane Fitzgerald back on the horn with us. Coach, great win on Saturday here in the Sun Bowl. You packed it out. I mean, everybody came to see you, Coach. You were the man of the hour. And I wanted to say this part. That's not something new, but I want people to understand where you were coming from when you were doing that. Because I like to say you're like a world class troll.
My end, but and people understand this. We're running a podcast here in Cedar City, and we've got 1,000 people that tune into the podcast each week. And the more funny you are, and the more you make them smile and laugh, the more people you get to view it the following week. Hey, and that's all we were trying to do. If I offended some good people, I do apologize for that. But it was all in good fun, and it's all tongue in cheek.
And I'm glad you're saying that because I wanted the people of El Paso to understand that. I mean, I had the opportunity to sit down with you and your staff on Friday night, and I will say, without a doubt, first class staff. I mean, you guys, they didn't know me from Adam, and they brought me in as if I had been with you guys for the last 5 years. And so, I mean, I wanted people here in the borderland to really understand that about you and your staff, and because some of the stuff they were saying in the stands was just crazy. It was crazy, and your players handled it well. And I just want to say, I want to apologize. And I was on the sideline with you guys, but I want to apologize to your players for how they were getting heckled by the stands over, really, I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't tell a lie.
Yeah, but and and I'll take it one further. You brought up hanging out with our staff. Yeah, hey, you're around myself and our coaching staff. After about 15 minutes, you become family to us now. Pretty welcoming group of guys. And our staff and our football program are. On what I said, I was joking about vacationing. Hey, I got no plans to vacation in Cedar City once I leave here either. So, but I actually, and here's the way it works for me, my man. I could go on vacation in El Paso and Juarez and have a great time for 7 days. I'd make it a good time. Now, while we were there, said Stephen this weekend, great people. Great people. The food there is really good. Hey, the authentic Mexican food is really good. Hey, and then got to buy a pair of boots. There's no place in the world better to buy boots than El Paso, Texas. So, hey, good trip for us. Got in, got the experience, got the win. Our players deserve to win a big football game. They've worked really hard, Stephen.
Definitely. Now, I did not go in the locker room at halftime. I stayed on the sideline. What did you say at halftime to flip a switch? Because
yeah, we
yeah,
had missed 2 field goals.
yep.
We missed 2 field goals in the first half, and so we go in, and our players know that we can play with them. We know we can stand and go toe to toe and blow for blow with UTEP. And I go in, and Stephen, the first thing I noticed when I walked in the locker room to speak to the players is the look in their eyes. And after 30 years of college football, whether the young men have a good look or a bad look in their eyes. And they had a great look, a great look in their eyes. And I'm sitting there looking at them. I know we're going to play well in the second half. Now, I didn't know our offensive line and our running backs were going to open up a can of whip ass on them, but I knew they were going to play well.
Ooh, and your running backs went wild the second half. But you have a player. I don't know the young man's name. I think he plays on I think he's a defensive lineman, number 33.
Repeat yourself. I didn't hear it.
You have a young man. I think he plays defensive line, number 33. I don't know what his name is. His number was
Walker Harris, defensive end, prototypical defensive end, and Walker walks in the room and he's 6'4", 235, and he looks the part and played really hard for a really long time. He won our Warrior Award. We give a Warrior Award for the guy that plays the hardest each game, and he won that this week. But then Stephen, across from him, Lando Brown. and Lando Brown is a little more diminutive in stature. Not as big, not as good looking a kid.
Number 44.
Yeah, number 44. Lando just really played hard Saturday night.
Those two, I think, set the tone for your defense and on the sideline. I was watching them, and they did not get down. They knew they were in the game, and they continued to pump up their teammates. They continued to – all I heard them say was, y'all, we in this. We in this. We can play with them. We in this. They not better than us. We can play. And this was the first half. And so the second half, when they came out the second half, he had a different look in his eye. I was like, oh, this is about to get serious.
Yeah, that's a staple of our football program. And we had 2 or 3 guys that didn't have such a good look on their face on the sidelines and weren't so supportive, and we've spoken to them about it. But the history of our football program and our coaching staff, we're not going to give heed. We're not giving ground. We're not going to blink. We're going to continue to come at you full force and just play really hard, Stephen, for 3 hours. Our rallying cry last week with our players is it was going to take 3 hours. It was going to take everything we had for 3 straight hours to be successful. We come in the locker room after the game, and this will tell you about our football program. The kids got a smile on their face and said, Coach, it took 3:05. It was a little longer than 3 hours because we went to overtime.
Definitely, definitely. Now, let me ask this question. What was going through your head when y'all had to go into overtime?
Say that again.
What was going through your head when you guys were going into overtime? When everything that transpired at the end, you had to go into overtime.
Yeah, I can't hear the end of it.
What transpired at the end? Like when you realized you guys were going to have to go into overtime. What was going through your head?
So you bring the players together and you have to focus them. We're up 7. We're up 7, and UTEP shows their character by putting together a great drive at the end of the game to tie it. And we had some chances to stop them, and they just kept executing. So you have to get them together, and you have to refocus them. Hey, it's 0-0. One play wins this thing. Just continue to do what we've done for the last 3 hours. Just do it better. Just execute better than we have, and that's what you're talking to them about. And then, Stephen, you know me. I throw it in here. Our coaching staff's like 10-1 in overtime. And the one loss is to Scotty Waldron and their staff at Austin Peay last year. But we had won like 9 straight as a coaching staff until we lost to Austin Peay in double overtime last year. So we just tell the kids, hey, we're 9-1. We're 9-1 in overtime games. We practice this, and we'll stop practice in the middle and practice overtime because we know we're going to get it. But just let them know that they're prepared and let them know how successful we've been in the past in overtime, and then let's go execute. And that's what we did.
So you brought up that overtime loss to Austin Peay. So it was very similar to this past game. How you guys won is how you lost the last time, if I'm not correct. If I'm incorrect, if I'm correct, right?
Absolutely. But both games extremely similar. Very competitive games and kind of back and forth. And actually last year, we executed the 2-minute drill to send it into overtime.
Yeah.
So that both teams, back-to-back years, the team that scored late and had all the momentum going into overtime actually lost the football game.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But no, Coach, I definitely thank you for taking the time to jump on here and talk about the game and to kind of clear up the statements and everything so that the people here in El Paso can calm down a little bit. But I will say this, Coach. You almost sold out the Sun Bowl.
Hey, you think could you contact UTEP and get them to send me a little commission check? Somebody said after our interview came out, they sold 12,900 tickets after the interview came out. Well, you know what? I think I ought to get I'll take 3%. Little commission on the revenue. Hey, Stephen, I appreciate you having me. Hey, no hard feelings from me with anybody down there. I wish the city of I wish the city of El Paso, the University of UTEP, and Juarez all the best going forward. Y'all have a great one and have a great fall, buddy.
You too, Coach. Thank you. Appreciate the time.
See you, man.
Later. So, folks, that was Coach DeLane Fitzgerald, head football coach at Southern Utah, coming on to join us to talk about everything that transpired going into Saturday's game. We wanted to take this time to really clear that up for you guys and to let him speak his side because there's two sides to every story. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. There's two sides to every story, so just thank you guys for taking the time to watch this, and we'll be back with Coach Talk here for another episode. Thank you for joining us.